I stopped scrolling for 1 week, and here's what I learned.
So about a week ago, I was doing some math actually for crochet and realizing that if you crocheted for 1 hour a day every single day of the year, that would add up to 365 hours of crochet in a year. And 365 hours of crochet is actually 15 days. And then I started thinking about the fact that 1 hour of scrolling every single day is 365 hours, and that's 15 days. And then I went and took a look at my screen time, and I realized that I spend more than an hour scrolling on average every day. And just think about it. If you spend 2 hours of scrolling every single day, that means that you're spending 30 days, 24/7, 30 full days scrolling. And I realized that I would love to get an extra 30 days in my year. And I realized that there's probably a lot of time that I am mindlessly doom scrolling that I probably shouldn't be mindlessly doom scrolling. So I gave myself the challenge of no scrolling for 7 days just to see how I would feel and what I would learn. And I wasn't planning on doing a video about this, or I probably would have tried to document it, but I'm kind of glad I just did this for myself. But now that I did, I really want to talk to you guys about it. So this is going to be kind of a different video than we've ever done. It's going to probably feel more like one of our live streams where we just sit here and talk, and I'm gonna tell you about my last 7 days and what it felt like to not scroll for 7 days straight. I literally don't even know when the last time was that I didn't scroll for an entire day. I got a TikTok in 2019 and probably started really scrolling, I feel like a lot of us did, during the pandemic. I don't know if there was a single day in the last 5 years that I didn't scroll. That's crazy to think about. Something so funny about not scrolling for the last week was that I literally had to text some of my friends and be like, hey, I'm not dead and I don't hate you. You're just not going to get any reels from me this week or any TikToks from me this week because I'm taking the week off of scrolling. And one of my friends was immediately like, I love that you knew that I'd already noticed. She literally said, I just figured you were just busy playing in your craft room and just weren't scrolling as much. And I was like, I wish that I just naturally had not been scrolling as much and just playing in the craft room, which don't get me wrong, we have spent a lot of hours playing in the craft room over the last month since getting it set up. But the lack of scrolling was intentional. I think I'm going to break this video down into the 10 things that I learned doing this experiment for the last week. Before we dive in, I need to say this really isn't about me watching less videos or consuming less content. I love videos. I love content. I mean, I'm literally a content creator. I love watching videos and going on journeys with people. I love following all of my favorite content creators and watching their videos. This for me was more about realizing that I want to be more intentional with my time and more mindful with my time. When I'm scrolling, I do find new creators that I like. I do find new videos that I like, but sometimes I'll also just scroll for 2 hours and not be able to remember a single video I just watched. And I'll feel a little bit burnt out, and I'll feel like I have had too much information shoved into my brain way too quickly, and I'll feel a little bit anxious or a little bit down and just not super inspired. And I hate that. I want to be intentionally consuming content that makes me feel inspired and excited and creative and motivated and educated. I want to consume content in a way that fills me up rather than draining me. And so that was the intention with trying to not scroll for an entire week. And the things I learned honestly kind of surprised me. So let's dive in and let's talk about the 10 things that I learned after not scrolling for 1 week. Number 1 is a thing that I did not expect at all. I got weirdly into solitaire this week, and I mean physical solitaire, cards on the table solitaire. I've been playing 5 or 10 games a day. It's been so much fun. It is so much fun to do something tangible. Obviously, I love doing tangible things just all the time, but I don't know, this was different because it was kind of a little bit of a brain game and challenging, but not too challenging, and a game, but you're just playing by yourself. I don't know. I just really got into solitaire this week, and it's so much fun. And I think that even as I do get back to scrolling eventually, I think I'm gonna keep playing solitaire. It's been something that I feel has been really good for me. Just 10 minutes at a time where I'm just kind of quieting my mind and doing a little challenge and focusing on something tangible. So if you've been needing something to do with your hands, something simple, I highly recommend solitaire. And that's a sentence that I never thought I would hear myself say, but you should definitely try playing solitaire. I did put a solitaire app on my phone too, because I've been wanting to learn more about the tips and tricks of solitaire, and a lot of the apps have the hints where they kind of teach you different strategies, and I think that's really cool. But I've been kind of trying to stay just off my phone a little bit more in general this week, so I've been mainly physically playing solitaire. And speaking of staying off my phone, man, it is crazy to realize how many times I pick up my phone, how many times I just grab for it. It is just like an anxious reaction at this point. And that leads me to number 2. Since I am so used to just like picking up my phone and opening TikTok, I use that as kind of a challenge this week. When I wanted to pick up my phone and open TikTok, instead of scrolling mindlessly, I would create content. So I actually ended up creating so many more short form videos this week, and I had so much fun. And I've heard a lot of other creators say that they do this. Like if they want to pick up their phone to scroll, they have to post a video first. And I'm like, maybe that's a good challenge. Maybe if I want to scroll, maybe I should have to post a video. Number 3 is something I kind of talked about in the beginning, but I want to talk about more here. The idea of consuming content like with a purpose, you know, not just being fed content, especially fed consumerism content. I feel like half of the content that I'm watching on my feed is being sold something. And like, I get it. I know that that's how the world works, but I feel like that just can't be healthy for our brains to just mindlessly scroll and just continuously have someone trying to sell us something like that. That can't be good for our brains, right? So this week I focused so much on mindful consumption of content. I've still watched a lot of short form content. I've still watched long form content, but I'm purposely going to the creators' pages that I know I want to see and watching their content, watching their stories, watching what they're posting. I've been watching movies. Like I don't usually watch that many movies, but this week, instead of just scrolling, I'll watch movies, and it's been so much fun to like watch an entire movie with a whole plot. And y'all, since I'm watching more movies, I have been making more things. Unlike when I'm scrolling, when I'm watching a movie, my hands are free. So this week I have been making so many more things while I've been watching movies, and it's been so much fun. And y'all, don't judge me. I'm already watching Christmas movies and I am just so here for it. I don't know when this video is going to come out because I'm actually a few weeks ahead right now, which is crazy. But for reference, it's still October while I'm filming this. And yes, I am already watching Christmas movies. Number 4, speaking of crocheting and knitting while watching movies, I'm just making more things in general. Like that hour or 2 or sometimes 3 a day that I might be scrolling, I found myself just needing to do something. And so I'm picking up my yarn a lot more. Now don't get me wrong, I already make a lot of things. Obviously, like my job is being a crafting YouTuber, so I make a lot of things all the time, but I still get distracted. I get distracted and I go down the rabbit hole of scrolling, and I usually don't feel good afterwards. But you know, when I do feel good is when I have made something. And this week, I feel like I just made a lot more than I normally make, especially on the weeks that I get really, really lost in my phone and lose time. This week, I feel like I just spent more time with my hobbies, with myself, just kind of like finding peace in creation rather than just feeling like I need to continuously be being fed information nonstop. I'm trying to figure out how to explain number 5. Number 5 is that not scrolling has kind of given me a chance to develop my opinions on things first. I feel like when I'm scrolling, I continuously see someone's opinion on a new album, on a new movie, on a new book. And, you know, I didn't really think that I was that easily influenced. Like my least favorite series that I read this year was a series that I read because everyone online was giving it 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. It was like a 2-star for me, maybe 2.5. I was really not a fan of these books. So I really didn't think that I was that easily influenced. But the interesting thing is the series I'm reading now, on the contrary, on the flip side of everything, is a series that a lot of people say is really boring and they can't really get into. And I feel like I was kind of slowly working my way, you know, through the first book, but I was still seeing people's opinions that they didn't like the series. And this week, I don't know if I just now got into like the meat and potatoes like of this story, or if it's just not seeing any negative videos about the plots of these books. I'm loving it. I'm so into it. Now, to be fair, a lot of people's critique of these books in particular is that the world building is really heavy in the beginning, and I am past that now and I am like into the story, so that could be it. But who knows? We have to all be influenced to some degree by the things that we watch, and if we're continuously getting other people's opinions on different types of media and art and books and movies, how do we know how much we're being influenced versus how much is just if we actually like that piece of art or not? And speaking of books, number 6, I have read so much more this week, so much more. I think it's mainly in the morning while I'm having breakfast and at night when I'm going to bed. Y'all, those are usually my scrolling times. While I'm having breakfast, I am normally scrolling. When I get in bed, I know it's the worst thing you can do for sleep. I am usually scrolling. And now I am like eating breakfast and I've got my audiobook on, or I've got my Kindle out, or both at once sometimes. And then I go to bed and I'm like reading before bed instead of scrolling. And it's so nice. And I've been just flying through my book this week. I've been enjoying it so much. And it doesn't feel like there's this pull of a distraction away from the book. I feel like I can't be the only one who feels that way, who will like get out their book to read or start to put on the audiobook and then go and scroll instead. I know I see the videos all the time on Book Talk that are like, hey, remember you sat down to read and now you're scrolling, go pick up your book. This week has been nice to not feel like that, to feel like I sit down to read and then I actually just read. Number 7, I can feel my attention span coming back. This is one of the main reasons that I wanted to do this week off of scrolling, because I just felt like lately I don't have the attention span that I used to. I feel like I still have a pretty good attention span, but I could feel it kind of like flickering. And just after a week, my mind just feels so much more at peace and like at ease and slower and quieter and just like I have more of an attention span, and that's great because now I can use that to kind of focus on things mindfully, like we talked about in the beginning of the video. The thing that I feel like has been the hardest for me is the fact that I still want to pick up my phone so much, and I still want to open these apps so much, like I mentioned earlier. And earlier I mentioned that, yes, it's helping me kind of create more because I'll open TikTok wanting to scroll, and then I'll be like, ooh, here's a video idea, I could do this. But the downside of it is sometimes I'll just open the app, I'll not really have anything that I want to create, and then I'll just go and check my numbers. And y'all, I've been doing content full-time for 5 years. In the beginning, I obsessively checked my numbers. Every video, did it go up? Did it go down? Did this happen? Did that happen? And then I really, really, really worked on stepping away from that. I worked on not obsessively checking numbers, not obsessively checking analytics. I don't think that that is healthy. And this past week, I've definitely been checking my numbers a lot more than I have in the last 3 years. Because I open my phone, I want to look at something, and I'm like, ooh, I can go check this, I can go check that. So what I have been doing to redirect that brain workage of mine is that when I open like the YouTube Studio app wanting to just check numbers, I've been working on not checking the numbers, but instead going to your comments, because I always spend about an hour a day responding to comments on YouTube, and this week it's probably been more than an hour a day. There will be so many times whenever I want to just go and like open the app to scroll habitually, and I'll be like, ooh, no, you know what I can do instead? I can go respond to comments. So I guess that's been like a negative thing that I have built into a positive thing. Where the first few days I was checking my analytics way too much, I think I have found a really good way to kind of like segue that into responding to more comments, which always brings me so much joy. Y'all, the hour that I spend answering comments every day is like one of my favorite times of the day. It just like kind of feels like our live streams, you know. I get to like see what you guys are doing, what your thoughts are on whatever project I'm working, and just talk to you guys and like hang out. Like I love responding to comments. And oh my gosh, speaking of that, I don't have the feature yet, but YouTube just announced that they are rolling out this feature where creators can respond to your comments with a voice note. I'm so excited. When I get that feature, I am going to be responding to every single comment on my channel with a voice note. I'm so excited about it. Number 9, the thing that I think has been the best for me this week, it's definitely going to take a lot longer than a week to deprogram, but the thing that's been the best for me so far is that I don't feel that constant need for distraction the way that I did. I feel like it's, a product of being alive in 2025, multitasking. And we don't just multitask like we're jumping back and forth between 2 tasks. It's like we'll have 2 forms of media on, like all the time. There's a TV show on and we're scrolling and we're talking to a friend, but we have music playing. Like we always have like noise, whether that is literal noise or like metaphorical. And this week I have felt less need for the noise. The weirdest one for me is that I've been going to sleep without my audiobook playing. I think for the last maybe 8 years, I have like fallen asleep to an audiobook. And this past week, I'll read my book. And when I'm ready to go to sleep, I just turn it off and I go to sleep. That is a huge thing for me. And I really kind of think that part of me needing that like noise, feeling of needing to almost be multitasking all of the time does come from scroll, new information. And this week with just not having that, it's been really, really peaceful. And it's something that I definitely want to keep working on deprogramming. And lastly, number 10, it's kind of a sad one. I realized that I felt kind of lonely this week. I work from home, I'm by myself a lot. I do try to see friends at least a few times a month. I do live with Josh and see him every day, and obviously I've got Tilly. That's our cat if you're new here. But I realized that when I'm scrolling, it almost gives me that feeling that I'm seeing people, that I'm seeing friends, because I'm laughing with people, I'm crying with people, I'm experiencing things with other people. but at the same time, I'm not. And I've heard so many people talk about this, right? Talk about how like we are replacing our in-person relationships and our real life friends with scrolling. But this was the first time that I think I had really experienced it. And so not scrolling for a week, I did reach out to my friends more. I missed them. I had time to miss them. I had time to feel bored. I had time to feel alone. I had time to just like sit with my thoughts. I called my parents more. I texted friends more and checked in on friends. I don't know if I'm wording this correctly, but it kind of feels like it's not scrolling that's making us feel lonely, right? I think the way that our lives are set up now with so many of us working from home and we don't have as many third places as we used to, and there's not as many like community events as there used to be, that's what makes us feel lonely. And we have scrolling, which is, you know, a good thing and a bad thing to make us feel more connected to the world around us and make us feel less lonely. But I think I personally became so distracted by scrolling. And this week without scrolling did make me reach out to people more. I spent more time on the phone with friends and texting with friends, on the phone with my parents. And it was honestly really nice just to almost like let my mind be bored, let my mind realize that yes, I am sitting in this house alone, and realize that I do want to reach out to these people and make more of an effort and to see my friends more, see my family more, spend more time with them, talk to them more. Not scrolling for a week just gave me time to realize how much I need to do that. So in conclusion, after a week of not scrolling, I have realized, and this may sound silly and counterintuitive, but I realized that I don't want to give up scrolling altogether. I love scrolling. I do. I love finding new content and finding new content creators and learning things from new people and getting to see different people's stories. But I realize I do want to scroll less. Like I am trying to do with everything in my life, I want to do things with more intention. And going back and starting scrolling again tomorrow for the first time in a week, I'm going to do the thing I've avoided for years, and I'm going to set that little screen timer thing that all of the apps have. Almost all the apps have something that's like, you've been scrolling for 30 minutes. Do you want to close the app? You've been scrolling for an hour. Do you want to close the app? I'm going to set that up for myself because that will remind me. That will be like, oh yeah, I've been on here for 30 minutes. I should go pick up my book. I should go knit. I should go call my parents. I think like everything in life, it's really just about finding balance. But this week, I really did learn how much more time I want to spend on physical things, how much more time I want to spend with friends, more time reading books, more time searching my favorite content creators and purposely watching their new videos, more time watching movies, and weirdly enough, the thing I never expected, more time playing solitaire. Well, friends, I think that wraps up another video. I know this video was nothing like most of our videos. It was a little bit more like our live streams, like I think I said in the beginning. But I don't know, this was just something that was a very unique experience for me and a very good experience for me. And I wanted to share it with y'all. So if you're new here, welcome to the Sunflower family. My name is Hollyana. Like I said, this is nothing like our normal content. We are usually crocheting or knitting or doing DIYs, cat videos, Renaissance festivals, thrifting, just basically anything cozy and quirky. And we do new videos every single Monday. Hope to see you guys in the next one.